All right, I got a video queued up here. That was a video of a coffee shop, a busy coffee shop. Dummy, you big dummy! We'll play this for you instead. It soundtracks are really hard, dude. I fucking searched around last week for a long time. This video clip is used for fair use, entertainment, and educational purposes.
Can you hear me?
Look at the optics. The optics are high. Is he gonna go shoot some homeless people?
Did you shoot 5 shots or did you shoot 6?
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun.
I want to cut
and
this
blow
part
your
out right here.
clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question: do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Wow, that's where that line came from. I always thought that line came from Home Alone.
That's Dirty Harry, like Dirty Larry.
I got to know.
Did I shoot 5 shots or did I shoot 6? Ha 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 ha. All right, now back to the original video I was going to play. This video is brought to you by Fox 13 Seattle. The name of the video is called Zombie Drug Police Addiction Serves Warrant Horrific New Fentanyl Mix. Trank is deadly. Ha 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 ha.
Bring on the trank, dude.
Don't do drugs. Wait, damn it.
Over Trank, a fentanyl hybrid that the Spotlight first warned you about back in February, has now reached all the way to the White House. Trank is the street name for fentanyl laced with the animal tranquilizer xylazine. And the concoction has been causing so many overdoses, the Biden administration has officially designated Trank as an emerging threat. The latest data available from the DEA shows there's been a more than 1,000% increase in xylazine-positive overdose deaths in the South region of the U.S., and a 750% increase here in the West region. Triple-digit increases also reported in the Midwest and the Northeast. Locally, xylazine's been confirmed in overdose deaths in Snohomish and King County, at least 12 that we know of. But those most familiar with Trank fear the body count will only climb higher.
He didn't have a flesh-eating disorder. He didn't have an abscess, and he doesn't know how his finger went missing. And to me, that is just strange. He said it was just miraculously gone.
A narcotic nightmare.
One young lady was telling me about it, and she was saying that she used it and then was out and didn't remember anything.
Moving like a chameleon through an already dangerous drug supply.
And that scared her enough to want to go to detox.
As if fentanyl wasn't deadly enough, suppliers are mixing in a new ingredient and creating a new drug crisis from the East Coast to Puget Sound. It goes by many names.
Fetty powder, trank dope is the big one. Everyone seems to kind of know what trank dope is.
Rochelle Long is a mental health professional embedded with the Marysville Police Department. Just this month, she put out a warning to colleagues and clinics to brace themselves for the full-on arrival of Trank. Trank is short for tranquilizer, in this case, xylazine. It's strong enough for big animals like horses. When it's mixed with fentanyl, it gives users a brand new kind of high.
So, like, they start dancing, they seem kind of happy, and they're just having fun, to an immediate, like, zombie-like trance, like staring through you as if like a horror film.
What it does to the human body is so terrible, it looks like a film effect. But in cities on the East Coast, where Trank first spread, it's all too real.
See how it's hard? It's called necrotic. The tissue underneath is dead. And right here where you see this green stuff coming out, that's because you have pus. It's infected.
Sarah Laurel is the founder of the Savage Sisters Outreach Program in Philadelphia. She says Trank is everywhere now.
So it took us about 2 years for it to dominate and take over our supply. Whereas in Boston, for instance, it was almost non-existent in July and August, and it is now in 70% of their supply.
Sarah and her team are treating Trank addicts every day.
You want to grab Sarah for me? We have somebody coming right now to transfer to the hospital. Is that okay?
Doing their best with bandages, compassion, and Narcan. But while it still remedies fentanyl overdoses, Narcan doesn't block the ill effects of xylazine in the body.
It's pretty terrifying, largely because we don't know much about it, and we don't have a reversal drug for it. We have to begin testing why it is causing these wounds within humans.
For people like Melanie Bettis, the euphoria Trank produced almost seemed worth it. She recovered from her Trank addiction after almost losing her arm.
So I never heard the term xylazine. I didn't know what was happening to me. And I would go to urgent care and stuff like that, and they would, give me an antibiotic or tell me I had MRSA. So it was definitely scary, but then you hit a point where it just becomes normal, and it's just another part of getting high.
Because no state is widely testing for Trank, fentanyl users are at risk of getting hooked without even knowing they're taking it. That lack of awareness here is what scares Mike Kersey with Courage to Change, an addiction recovery service in Everett, who started to see the results firsthand.
Well, I'd heard about it, but only from a couple of addicts. One of them I got into detox and said that they'd been using the Fetty powder, and it was so much stronger.
The Fetty powder.
The fake pills, the blues that you heard so much about.
For now, it's a race against time, with Kersey trying to reach users and get them help before Trank gets to them first. People like Nick Mackey, who just completed a 28-day treatment program.
It feels good.
Now I'm cured.
It feels really good. I could never imagine that. I've done this for myself.
Nick is on his way to transitional housing, where he plans to hang up his certificate of completion and hang on to his sobriety.
Taking that first step and cleaning yourself up is the best thing you can ever do. And you can live life to live.
Nick has never tried Trank, but he knows enough about fentanyl to understand that anything that makes it more powerful will make it more deadly.
I couldn't imagine that.
No
would be a
way.
good combination. That, I mean, the by itself has taken a lot of people out. You mix it with that, it's gonna be completely overpowering. I'm worried about it.
Seen it twice.
Sick of the same old streams.
It's all.
All right, we got something a little completely different here. We have a video by Redacted. The title of the video is Whitney Webb. This is why Epstein documents are coming out now. Redacted with Clayton Morris. Please like, subscribe, and share.
And
This
don't
video
do trank.
entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you.
And make sure not to do fentanyl or trank. We do not advise anybody take those substances.
Around documents and revelations around Jeffrey Epstein. Now people who downplayed their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein are continuing to have the answer for it. The Wall Street Journal is out with part 2 of their sort of bombshell revelations about Jeffrey Epstein. First, it was his calendars. Now new documents are emerging about.
Why? What's going on there, Dubs? What kind of malfunctions are you having today with good old StreamYard? How could you ever say something's going wrong with StreamYard? Damn you.
Bill Gates and Woody Allen and deeper dives on all of this stuff. And for that, we want to turn to investigative journalist Whitney Webb, who, of course, has written a 2-volume book on the deep state mafia and the Jeffrey Epstein connections and running the sort of government, shadow government that we see, and has been diving into these documents. Whitney joins us. You just wrote a new piece on Noam Chomsky and the questions surrounding, why was Noam Chomsky meeting with Jeffrey Epstein and those revelations. But first, like at a high level, Whitney, I just want to get your response to the second Wall Street Journal dumping of documents. And the other day I asked you when you were on earlier this week with the first round of this, why now? Why are we learning about this now? And where did the Wall Street Journal get these documents? We were talking before the show a little bit here. You have some new theories. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, so the Wall Street Journal, as far as regarding how it got these documents, as far as I've seen, there's been no transparency there, and none of the documents that they've reported on have been released, and it's still not clear how they obtained them or from whom, or why it's coming out now. So the second part that came out today that you're referring to has a lot of names that are not really that new in relation to the Epstein scandal. People like Larry Summers, Glenn and Ava Dubin, Bill Gates, of course. These are names that have been circulating around Epstein since at least 2019, if not earlier. Now, I've had a little more time to think about why they might be putting this out there now, and I think the answer may be to take heat off of the 4 billionaires who were subpoenaed as part of this U.S. Virgin Island JP Morgan Epstein case, because those are very astounding. So one of the more astounding ones, there's two that really stick out there. One is Sergey Brin, the Google co-founder. And the other one is Michael Ovitz, who used to be head of Walt Disney and a top talent agent for Hollywood. So, so the fact that those two individuals were subpoenaed by the USVI, which is in possession of lots of documents about Epstein's activities in JP Morgan and how they relate to his sex trafficking activities, the fact that they subpoenaed 4 billionaires, the other two are Thomas Pritzker of Hyatt Hotels, whose family has long-standing intelligence and organized crime connections that I detail in my book. And then the other one is Mort Zuckerman, who bought the New York Daily News after Robert Maxwell's death, Maxwell having been the previous owner, and Zuckerman was known to frequent Epstein's townhouse. A lot of that isn't necessary.
Well, you see, Nubs, that's a master plan of mine to know who everybody is, where they're at, and what they're doing in my stream. Damn it! Finger it out. Ha 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 ha.
Necessarily that revelatory on that end, but having the Google co-founder be that close to Epstein and having a former Walt Disney president being that close to Epstein are pretty significant. And as far as the Disney ties go, when Orvitz was head of Disney, the head of the Imagineering department at Disney was a guy named Brand Farron. And while Farron was in that role at Disney, he was advising the US military, intelligence, all sorts of shady actors. And he brought
I wanted to welcome Roy Duggan to the chat. I don't remember if I've seen you before, because I am a space cookie, but you're welcome to the chat. Good to see you and hope you're having a great day and a better tomorrow. No doubt about it.
brought to the Imagineering department close associates of Epstein, like Marvin Minsky and Danny Hillis, who were very closely involved with the development of military supercomputers, creating artificial intelligence, all sorts of very odd things. And the fact that they'd be involved in a company like Disney, which of course targets mainly children. And of course, Minsky was named, for example, as
Dude, that
part
microphone
of the
does
sex
cost like
trafficking operations
$1,000.
by people like Virginia Giuffre, for example.
What was that?
She's got the good stuff, dude. That Shure microphone costs like $300 to $400, and then the
What'd you say,
headphones
Moose?
cost.
How come I can't hear myself very good?
You can't hear me or what?
Hello? There we go.
Hello?
That's a little better.
Hello?
All I heard was something about a microphone.
Yeah, that microphone she's got, like the whole setup is like $1,000, dude. Like once you're done,
What the hell? Am I pausing you when I pause the video?
This is pretty astounding. So the fact that we're having these names come out with the Wall Street Journal piece, people are now instead talking about Noam Chomsky, talking about Bill Gates, and not talking about these people who have been subpoenaed in a legal case about Epstein's sex trafficking network. No one's talking about them. Instead, it's talking about these meetings on their calendars, right? And so like someone like Chomsky, who, as far as the Wall Street Journal reported, had 3 meetings with him, that I don't see that as being as significant, for example, as, these 4 billionaires who have been subpoenaed, but that's getting no coverage. So I would suspect it's to take heat off of some of these guys, if you ask me. But then again, there are some important revelations here. And I think the bulk of those revelations, at least ones that are new, were in the first installment of this recent round of Wall Street Journal reporting. But in the second piece, I do think it's pretty interesting that they keep bringing up the fact that Epstein was describing himself as being a money manager for Bill Gates. I think that definitely needs to be pursued. And I think one of the reasons that mainstream media even will not do that isn't just because of how extensively Gates funds a lot of mainstream media outlets. But is also related to the fact that if you look at Epstein's history, he's tied to a series of Microsoft top executives who flew on his plane in the 1990s and who connected him with MIT Media Lab, for example, and all sorts of other activities, were very much involved with his, what he was doing and apparently his sex trafficking activities. Actually, Nathan Myhrvold, the chief technology officer of Microsoft who flew on Epstein's plane in the late 90s, was named by Alan Dershowitz actually as a person that abused minors that Epstein trafficked. That's astounding.
And Alan Dershowitz, who won't even answer questions about it when confronted and asked questions about it.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh, you shouldn't. I didn't do anything with Virginia Roberts." Dershowitz in this line in this particular interview he gave, he said, "Oh, I wasn't doing that," and then refers instead to like maybe you should look at Nathan Myhrvold. Who Virginia Roberts had also named, right? So that's very extreme, and there's been no interest in pursuing him, right? And he was, chief technology officer of Microsoft, very, very close to Bill Gates, obviously. And another top Microsoft executive Linda Stone hired a woman from Epstein's entourage as her secretary, and is the person that connected him to the MIT Media Lab, which, if you believe a lot of what's in these Wall Street Journal revelations, was a key reason for a lot of these people, including Chomsky, meeting with Epstein related to his activities in and around MIT. So
Atera is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing.
I want to go back
again, I
to
think there's
yeah, no, I was gonna say, I just want to go, circle back on the Bill Gates piece of this. It is interesting to your
Sure.
point that the 4 billionaires who are involved in this lawsuit, in an effort to take the heat off of them, and I think you're absolutely right about that. That makes a lot of sense. But Bill Gates his name keeps getting brought up and up and up, and I'm stunned by that. So I want to kind of go back to that point that they make in this piece. Gates has repeatedly said that he just liked to have dinner with Epstein, 36 times? And then these new reports show that he vetted legal counsel, that Epstein vetted legal counsel for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and that he told people that he was, quote, managing money for Mr. Gates, which is really interesting. That seems to me a new revelation. The spokespeople for Bill Gates continue to insist that Epstein totally misrepresented his relationship when talking to other people. So what do you make of these Bill Gates revelations?
Yeah, so again, the mainstream media narrative refuses to say that the Epstein Gates relationship precedes 2011, which again, I think is all about protecting greater scrutiny of the Epstein Microsoft ties and also the Maxwell family ties to Microsoft that took place around in the 1990s when that sort of team up took place. But the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has a lot to answer for when it comes to Epstein, including before 2011. One of the top science advisors for that foundation was a woman named Melanie Walker that Epstein recruited into his network in 1992, and she was his science advisor after he apparently paid for some of her graduate studies. And that was in the late 90s. And shortly thereafter, she has a brief stint with the World Health Organization and then is hired to be a science advisor to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where she introduces Epstein to another science advisor of the Gates Foundation, Boris Nikolic. And if you remember, Boris Nikolic, when Epstein died, was actually the backup executor to Epstein's will. So why would Epstein have put Nikolic in that position? And these are all ties that predate Epstein and Gates' alleged first meeting per mainstream media in 2011. And then there's the added fact that UK mainstream media in the year 2000 said that Epstein made his money because of his business links to Donald Trump, Leslie Wexner, and Bill Gates. So how would they be able to say that Epstein made his millions by through business ties with Bill Gates if they didn't meet for 10 years after the fact? It doesn't make any sense. And why would Gates hire someone like Melanie Walker, whose resume at that point was being science advisor for Jeffrey Epstein? You would have to know who Epstein was and what kind of science he was into. And of course, there's a lot of overlap between the science that Epstein was into and the science that Bill Gates is into.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. There's a few other names in this second report that I wanted to ask you about. Reid Hoffman, billionaire venture capitalist, LinkedIn co-founder, apparently visited Epstein's private island, and then it also stayed over in his Manhattan townhouse. Woody Allen, as you mentioned, attended dozens of dinners with his wife.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just like having dinner with them. Just because I was there 36 times don't mean nothing. Don't!
At Epstein's mansion and invited Epstein to his film screenings. Ehud Barak, the former Israeli prime minister, visited Epstein dozens of times and was on his private jet on a regular basis. And then Leon Black, the billionaire co-founder of private equity giant Apollo Global Management, more than 100 meetings with Epstein from 2013 to 2017. What do you make of those names?
Oh, there's a lot to say about all of those names because these are just adding to the already known revelations about these people's ties with Epstein. So in the case of Leon Black, that was actually investigated by his investment or hedge fund, Apollo Global Management, which he has since resigned from. But the person that investigated his ties was a guy named Buzzy Krongard, who's an ex-CIA guy that was tied to insider trading on 9/11. So, I mean, it's seems like that was probably a big cover up, to say the very least. And Leon Black had entrusted almost as much of
how in the hell could she say it was a cover up? It was all a coincidence, a quinkydinky, a coincidence. Really, just because I was there 38 times, this means I enjoyed having dinner with the man. Damn it.
Of his money to Epstein as someone like Leslie Wexner had, to a slightly lesser extent, was managing a lot of his estate, was managing his tax planning, which again, Epstein's role in tax planning for elites goes back to his time at Bear Stearns in the late 70s and early 80s when he was, already engaged in financial criminality and apparently helping billionaires, engage in mass tax evasion. So, that obviously raises some question marks there. And Leon Black, along with Glenn Dubin, were added to the board of this school at Harvard that Leslie Wexner essentially created through his financing that David Gergen runs. At the Harvard Kennedy School, the Center for Public Leadership, which is openly allied with the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders program. And a bunch of, these Epstein cronies and Wexner cronies, I guess, by extension, got added to the board. So you have like Dubin and Black, and of course Epstein and Larry Summers, a lot of people that pop up in the second part of this Wall Street Journal revelation all swimming around Harvard. And then you have the MIT connections popping up in both of these recent revelations as well. So that's worth considering. And as far as Ehud Barak goes, the Wall Street Journal declined to note that the Daily Beast, which is considered mainstream media, reported that Barak was seen so frequently at the apartments where trafficked girls were housed, which is owned by OSA Properties, which involves a bunch of former Jeffrey Epstein employees and is run by his brother, Mark Epstein. Barak spent the night there. All sorts of dubious connections between Barak and the sex trafficking scandal that did not make it into the Wall Street Journal report.
Right.
And add some important context, I think is pretty clear. And of course, when it comes to Woody Allen, I'm sure most people are probably familiar with his past scandals, including the fact that his ex partner, actress Mia Farrow, he is alleged, and it's been extensively corroborated by witnesses and other sources, that he sexually molested her adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, at least when she was 7 years old, but according to court documents, took a sexual interest in her when she was between the ages of 2 and 3. And his current wife is actually another one of Mia Farrow's.
I don't know if that's true about Woody or not, but if it is, he needs to have his little winky chopped off and shot in the fucking head.
Adopted children that Woody Allen met when she was a child, though his current wife, Soon-Yi Previn, maintains they didn't have their first quote-unquote friendly interaction until she was a teenager. And Woody Allen's relationship with Mia Farrow ended when she found nude photographs of Soon-Yi Previn in his house when she was, I believe, 18 or 19 years old. So Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein certainly seem to have had a lot in common, and that may explain why they socialized so frequently. Because obviously, if you're familiar with the relationship between Soon-Yi Previn and Woody Allen, a lot of people probably didn't really want to be around that to an extent that we're actually against that type of activity. But certainly Epstein would not have been bothered by that, to say the very least. So I think that sort of explains.
That's his sick jam. Sadly enough, that's what that was sadly what he was into. Unbelievable. So, I'll get you out of here on this final question, which is, in this latest round of documents, or this latest these latest story from the Wall Street Journal, are there still gaping holes that you would love for them to answer to fill in? Are there's things that in your reporting that you would love for them to answer for here?
Yeah, I would say release the documents. No one can verify what these documents are and what they say and what the Wall Street Journal is leaving out. Keep in mind, the Wall Street Journal, as far as I'm aware, is owned by News Corp, which is Rupert Murdoch, which recently fired Tucker Carlson for saying too much, right? So,
especially
it's
about
fair to say
Epstein.
that
Yeah, specifically. Yeah.
right. So it's fair to say that there's probably names here that they're keeping out of the limelight for whatever reason. Because keep in mind, people like Rupert Murdoch have been involved in these quote unquote deep state networks for much of his media career, and he also had a very prominent feud and rivalry with Robert Maxwell about building parallel media empires. So, I wouldn't necessarily trust this guy or, a mainstream media outlet like the Wall Street Journal. And I really think the best way forward is transparency with these documents, because according to the journal itself in these reports, they call it a trove of documents, thousands of pages, not just of his calendar and his meetings and his schedules, but emails. Release the emails.
Yeah.
And this is something that's come up time and again with reporting. Why can't you just release the emails or the source documents or any of the stuff? And it very rarely happens. Frankly, I think it's definitely time for greater visibility into not just the documents themselves, but who gave them to the Wall Street Journal. There's a lot of unanswered questions here that, again, a lot of people don't seem interested in asking. And I go back to what I said earlier. I think, why can't they mention any of these big tech especially with the Reid Hoffman revelations, right, of LinkedIn. Hoffman had been known to have taken Epstein to a big Silicon Valley meetup that involved people, some of the biggest names in Silicon Valley. Epstein allegedly knew people like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, the biggest names in tech. You, of course, have Bill Gates and Microsoft, and now Sergey Brin has been subpoenaed, and they don't note any of these Silicon Valley connections in their reporting beyond just, Reid Hoffman had more meetings with Epstein than he was open about. It's a bit odd. And even with the Chomsky revelations, actually Epstein had openly said that he had invited Chomsky to his home in an interview he gave to a Science magazine journalist in 2017. And he said the reason he invited Chomsky to his home was to explicitly discuss artificial intelligence. That didn't make it into the Wall Street Journal report. So either they're not doing their homework, or they're trying to give a very limited scope of what these revelations contain. And again, they'll say what the documents contain and then quickly give the statements of these people distancing themselves from Epstein. But again, as my work has shown and the work of others has shown, there's a much deeper story here.
For sure. And Whitney Webb has a new article out on her website, unlimitedhangout.com, unraveling the Epstein-Chomsky relationship. So I encourage you all to go and read that. We will have that linked up in the description below as well. It's always great to catch up with you. Whitney Webb, investigative journalist, thank you so much for your insight and analysis on this.
Thanks. My pleasure. And thanks for your interest in the story.
Thank you so much for watching this segment.
All right, we're mixing it all up today. We have another video queued up here. The name of the video is called Just Wow and Not How You Think. This video is brought to you by Here's the Deal. Please like, subscribe, and share to Here's the Deal. This video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
Here's a spoiler alert on the video you're currently watching right now. All parties involved in this accident reportedly escaped with minor injuries. I repeat, as crazy as it seems, only very minor injuries were reported by all parties, and we are very thankful they all made it through A-OK.
Yeah. 911 Bravo, Start Me Rescue, Start Me Units, accident right here at County Parkway, south after Braddock. My cruiser was hit, driver was hit. I'm trying to check on injuries.
Hey, there's a line here. My Warpath power is 5 million.
According to Fairfax County Police Department and the Sully Police District, quote, on May 1st, around 11:38 a.m., a patrol officer was on a routine traffic stop, which some have termed roadside piracy, with a gray 2012 BMW 750 series on southbound Fairfax County Parkway prior to Braddock Road. While using the implied threat of force to extract the product of this person's time and labor, a 17-year-old driver of a black 2018 BMW M3 was traveling northbound on Fairfax County Parkway at a high rate of speed and lost control. The BMW spun around, crossed the median, and struck the community member's vehicle, then the officer's vehicle, according to this statement. The officer, they say, was nearly struck and killed. We can only thank God that he will live another day to economically pummel people who break traffic laws which serve as a justification to trample unalienable rights. So thank you for that, officer. We need more people like you in the force. The adult driver in the BMW 750 series on the traffic stop was taken to the hospital with minor injuries not considered to be life-threatening and has since been released from the hospital. The officer also sustained minor injuries. The juvenile driver of the BMW M3, which he had no business driving, obviously, and the two passengers sustained minor injuries. The juvenile was charged with reckless driving. He shall remain nameless in this video. The Fairfax County Police Department is relieved that this crash did not result in a tragedy. This is an important reminder that life can change in an instant. It's the driver's responsibility to drive safely and arrive safely. And it's the police officer's job to see to it that you arrive with less money in your pocket. That is, if you arrive at home at all. Because God knows that everybody deserves to be economically fleeced, threatened, interrogated, and possibly cuffed, tased, beaten, and jailed for not paying the licensing fee required by the state and for violating any number of traffic rules, including speeding, license plate illumination, turn signal etiquette, and proper braking, just to name a few. Parents and guardians should consider using this video as an opportunity to have a conversation with their teen drivers about how their driving behavior can affect the lives of others. But don't talk to them about the dangers our officers will put you in on the side of the road, where you're more likely to be involved in a vehicular catastrophe if a tire pops, a drunk driver swerves, a distracted driver veers off while texting, or any number of possibilities while hundreds of heavy vehicles zoom past you while you're being shaken down on the side of the road. The Fairfax County Police Department is committed to traffic safety and will continue to enforce traffic laws, and by that we mean violate your sacred rights under the color of the traffic law, and educate drivers in an attempt to curb the senseless loss of life that occurs during preventable fatal crashes. Again, we're very thankful that all parties managed to somehow make it out of this with only minor injuries, but especially the officer who will go on to enforce even more traffic laws and generate even more revenue for the state. And God knows we need more people like this, who will unflinchingly follow orders and have no problem letting us know that traffic laws and officer safety will always, and I mean always, trump individual rights.
Yesterday, Monday, May 1st, just before noon, a Sully District Station police officer was out on the Fairfax County Parkway conducting enforcement activity. The officer observed a speeder traveling at 73 in the posted 50-mile-an-hour speed zone and conducted a traffic stop on southbound Fairfax County Parkway, just south of Braddock Road. The officer pulls the vehicle over on the right shoulder, and that's where the video will pick up. And you'll see the officer makes a decision to approach on the passenger side of the car, which many of you have probably seen happen from time to time. That decision will be very consequential. as this plays out. But as the officer makes that approach and is having a conversation with the driver, you will notice a vehicle from the north traveling south, so the other side of the road. You'll see the curve and you'll see a car approach at an extraordinary speed, and then the crash will unfold.
The video goes to black and we show the words on the screen, the radio transitions that the officer was making. His grace under pressure was, calm, cool, collected. He hops over that guardrail and he immediately gets on the radio immediately. So that's extraordinary. And Chief Blakely will talk about the driver of the striking vehicle and his two passengers. They're all juveniles. They're all under the age of 18, and we can't show them. We can't blur them. So we went to black because we can't depict those juveniles.
Analyzing the data that's available in the black box, if you will, on that vehicle, and it was traveling well over 120 miles per hour when it lost control. The vehicle lost control because cars can't go that fast on the highway. This year alone, compared to 2022, we've seen an increase by 62% in the number of citations we've issued.
Dramatic increase in traffic.
What's he talking about? Cars can't go that fast. I've done faster. I mean, I don't know. Never mind.
Enforcement of Fairfax County in 2023 is very intentional. Our criminal arrests are up 30%. Our traffic citations are up 62%. Our DWI arrests are up 30% because we realize what traffic safety means to Fairfax County.
All right, we're keeping the ball rolling here, mixing it up. We have another video queued up here. The title of the video is called Drunk, Entitled Cop, Shocked to Find Out She's Not Above the Law. Brought to you by Arnican777. Please like, subscribe, and share. Tell them Dirty Larry sent them. And this video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
This is Pinellas County Deputy Shelby Coniglio, and the following video shows the moments that followed after she was pulled over for suspected drunk driving.
Has your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance? I'm a Pinellas County deputy. Okay. And my driver's license. Huh? I'm a Pinellas County deputy. Okay. Do you have your license, registration? No? You don't? Do you have your ID on you? Do you have a...
Liner's so easy, it's black and white. Graphic lines.
Any weapons on you? No. Okay. Well, I'm a deputy, but... Well, that's why I'm asking. Do you have any weapons on you? I live right there. Okay. I would normally, but... Do you have your... some kind of ID or anything on you? My ID is not here, but I'm a Pinellas County deputy. Okay. Do you have some...
Instead of just following lawful orders, Deputy Coniglio reminds the officer multiple times who she is, expecting to be treated differently simply because she is also a cop.
This way because I live right there. I get that, but I pulled you over because you were flying past everybody and you were cutting. No, I was just driving. Okay, when I was pulling behind you, at this point you were going like 56 and a 40. You were flying. No, I was not flying. I was just.
Do you have your
going...
registration with your name on it or anything?
Well, this car is not mine, so.
Okay. Do you have anything with your name on it? Is that your driver's license right there?
It's my driver's license and my.
Can I see your driver's license?
Sure.
How dare she ask for my license? I told her I was a cop. I told her I was a fellow thin blue line partner. What the hell, over?
Do you have your work ID?
No, it's at home in my cruiser.
Okay. Where do you live at?
I live at.
Okay. So not the address in your license?
No. I live right there.
Whose car is this?
My father's.
Give me a second. Where are you going? Stay 10-12 with her. I gotta call this one. Actually, my camera speaker supervisor.
You said you were a deputy?
Yes.
Where at?
Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, you're with us all night.
Yeah.
How long you been with us?
5 years. I mean, I could get out, I could get in. I mean, you could come in.
No, you're good right now.
Listen, I'm
You're
just
good.
trying to. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do, whatever
No,
it
you're
is.
good.
I live at that light right there.
Gotcha.
So if you want to hang out, if you don't want to hang out,
Where you coming from?
not even long. You know Gandy Boulevard?
Mm-hmm.
I picked up someone, brought them over to their house, and then I was going back to my house.
Gotcha.
Because I am just living my life.
I gotcha.
And they actually live with Pinellas. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring you home.
Gotcha.
Boom, 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 boom. Easy. Espanol, but
Where from?
wait.
So you're Spanish?
Yeah,
From where?
you say where?
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you know you speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, pero way.
Ah, okay. I'm Dominican.
Dominican?
Mhm.
Oh, no. No. No.
What's wrong with that?
Italiano, okay? And I only speak some Spanish,
Gotcha.
okay? For the most part, Italiano.
Gotcha.
But she pulled me over. I do what I want.
I got you.
But you're St. Pete, so it doesn't matter.
Just hearing her joke around and act jovial in such a stressful situation tells you how totally confident Shelby is that she will not face any consequences since she's a cop.
Alrighty. Go step out of the car for me a second. We're just gonna talk over there, okay? Okay, alright. Talking to you, I am getting some signs of impairment. Okay, can I check your eyes real quick?
Really?
Alright, I want to give you every chance to say that you're fine. Okay. So can I check your eyes real quick?
This is what we're going to do right now?
I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
No.
And you pulled me over for going 10 miles over the speed limit?
You were going more than 10 over the speed limit. And
Really?
it's not just speed, it's also how you were driving.
No.
Look,
10 miles over the speed limit.
I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, unfortunately, we're past that point. You understand my position? All right. I want to give you every opportunity for you to show me that you're okay to drive. And I really hope that that's the results we get, okay? But at this point, I can't just look the other way.
Your mama's going down, bro.
Your mama's so sweet that the dentist has her on speed dial.
Your mama's so nice. I went over for lunch and I got dinner.
That's where you're at right now?
Can I check your eyes real quick?
This is how you're doing it? Really?
Yeah. I don't have a choice. It's
Yes,
the
you
same for
do.
anybody else.
No, yes, you do.
I can't treat anybody any differently.
Yes, you would.
No,
I wasn't in other people's lanes.
Okay. I'm not going to argue about that. There's dash cam video and all of that, okay? But we're past that point right now. The point is you were stopped. You're showing signs of impairment.
No, I'm not showing.
Okay. All right. I want to give you every opportunity to show
You know
that
what?
that's not the case.
I want to ask,
Mhm.
what signs of impairment was I showing?
You've got bloodshot, watery eyes. You have slurred
Nope,
speech.
nope. I
Okay.
want to know.
Okay.
Pulling over. What was the signs of impairment?
I'm not gonna.
Because I do not have bloodshot watery eyes because I have contact lenses in my eyes.
Okay.
I have contact lenses
I'm
in.
not trying to argue with you, okay? I'm hoping that you can show me that you're okay to drive. Okay? But I have to go forward with this. I have to at least investigate
No,
it.
I just want to know.
I explained to you. You smell very strongly of alcohol. Your movements have been very slow and fumbling. You have a very dazed facial expression. All these are signs of impairment. Okay? Again, if you're good to drive, perfect. But I have to investigate that.
No, you have to go over it again. I am showing what exactly?
You have bloodshot, watery eyes. You have slurred speech. You have a
But I'm
strong
wearing
odor-
contact lenses.
Okay. You have a strong odor of alcohol coming from your breath.
But I have.
As I said, I'm just conducting an investigation at this point. I want to give you every opportunity. You're saying that you're fine. I want to give you every opportunity to show me that.
There's no way in hell. No way in hell.
Okay. Can I check your eyes real quick? Just make sure that you're okay.
You're gonna check it? No.
I want to give you some opportunity to participate in some field sobriety tests. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
And if I wasn't willing to do that?
Look, I want to give you every opportunity to show me that you're okay to drive.
So you're saying that if I'm not willing to do what you're telling me to, I'm apparently
I'm saying I'm getting signs of impairment.
where?
Okay?
Where?
I explained it to you already, okay?
No, say it again.
I've explained it to you multiple times.
You said that, but it's not impairment.
Okay. Well, if you are telling me you're not impaired, that great. I want to give you every opportunity.
Show me that I'm impaired.
Okay, can I check your eyes real quick?
And then what after that? If you're gonna check my eyes, what after that?
It depends what I see in your eyes.
Okay, so it depends on what you see in my eyes, but after that, it doesn't mean anything.
Well, it's just one step at a time. Right now, I just want to check your eyes. Is
No,
that
I don't.
okay?
I don't want to see in my eyes. I want to see after that.
Okay. After it's a building process. Okay. It's not a one test determines everything.
Test.
Do you have blindness in either eye?
I don't know.
I mean, can you see this light?
Yeah.
Okay. All I have you do is just stand with your feet together and arms down at your sides. So what I'm going to do is follow this red light with your eyes. Oh, careful.
That is-
light with your eyes. Oh, careful.
That is.
What I'm going to have you do is follow it with your eyes and your eyes only. I don't want you to move your head at all, okay?
If your shoes are bothering you, you can take them off.
That's too fast.
Just follow it with your eyes.
It's too far away.
Just follow it as far as you can go.
It's too far away.
Your eyes are drifting. You're not focusing on the pen. I just need you to focus on the pen, okay?
Your light is in my face. Too far up. Too far up. I can't
You
see
gotta look
it.
all the way up as far as your eyes should go on as far up as they can go.
Can't see any further than that.
Hang out here on my phone. At this time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to participate in 2 more field sobriety tests. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
You think that I'm impaired right now?
As I said,
After eyes. So in the eye,
You're showing signs of impairment. I want to give you every opportunity to show me that you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, there's 2 additional tests. The walk-in.
I'm wondering how long it took her to squeeze into those damn pants.
Turn and the one-night stand. Is that
I'll
something
do all of the tests.
Okay. Perfect. Hang out with him. I'll be right back.
You would think by now Shelby would take responsibility for her actions and own up. But no, she's even more stunned at the fact that she's being treated so indifferently.
Is she new?
The L'Oreal Pumping Water Cream. Look at this bounce. I love it. You will love it. And so will your skin.
Here longer than I am. Then why is she doing this? When I live right there. She doesn't care. She wants to f people over.
Pretty sure that's not what she wants to do.
So, in the sense of being a deputy, with her doing this, what are your thoughts?
What do you mean?
In the fact of me acing this or not, it doesn't matter, right?
No, I mean that's the point of this, right? If you don't show signs of impairment while you do it, it's better for you. That's why we give you that option.
I'm still gonna be perfect for this.
There you go.
After failing her field sobriety test, she also submitted 2 breathalyzer tests, which showed her blood alcohol levels at nearly 3 times the legal limit. The detaining officer then concluded this before her arrest.
What did she have to drink while you were down there?
I didn't have any drink.
Okay. Here's the thing. We both know you've been drinking. Okay. By telling us complete lies, like I know that you're not being honest. Okay. So I know you had something. Do you remember where you had drinks? How much did you have?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So why do you smell like alcohol?
I do not smell like alcohol. I smell like pigment.
That's not pigment. That's very strong alcohol. Okay. And I mean, you're a deputy, you know about HGN. Okay. That's caused by alcohol. So, how much do you have to drink? Nothing. You don't want to be honest with me?
Where we
Go
going?
to the phone office. All right.
She was later transported to Pinellas County Jail without incident and also fired from her job following the arrest.
This clip's used for fair use, entertainment, and educational purposes only.
Hey, I got to know.
All right, we're going to show probably one last video here. It just came up at random. This video title is Sheriff and Officials Plot to Murder Reporters. Who Exposed Them by James Freeman. Please like, share, and subscribe to James Freeman. Tell him Larry James 965 sent him. This video is used for entertainment, educational, and fair use. Thank you.
Just outright murder. Luckily, we live in the United States of America, where we have free press and the freedom to criticize our government. So no journalist would ever have their life threatened by the government for exposing the government's misdeeds. Or so you thought.
Several McCurtain County employees, to include the county sheriff. This after secret recordings allegedly captured them talking about beating, killing, and burying 2 newspaper reporters in Idabel. Those conversations shared with News 9. The reporter telling our Dean Stein he fears for his life.
The county's plot to murder reporters was discovered by Bruce Willingham when he placed a recording device inside of the county commissioner's meeting room because he believed that the commission was holding secret meetings, which were a violation of the Public Meetings Act, which says that all meetings must be public, that the public must be informed of the meetings, and that the public must be allowed to attend the meetings. He wasn't at all surprised to find out that his recorder did pick up a secret meeting that was held by the county commission and the sheriff's department. He was, however, surprised to find out the details of what they talked about in that meeting, including plotting to murder him and his son, as well as discussions about how they would dispose of the bodies.
I was breathless. I couldn't believe it. I was expecting it, chitter chatter stuff about county business and stuff. And that's how it started. And then it got down to the extremely serious stuff.
On the recordings, we can hear Commissioners Jeff Jennings and Robert Beck, as well as the elected sheriff, Kevin Clarity, and Sheriff's Deputy, Alicia Manning.
I've known 2 or 3 hitmen that were very quiet guys. Yeah. And would cut no mercy. Yeah. In Louisiana, because it was all mafia right now. Yeah. Don't say that,
Goes around.
It will. I told you it will.
Yeah.
I know where 2 big deep holes are here in Navy.
I got an excavator.
And these are 3 done.
Bruce Willingham and his son don't know for sure why county officials want him murdered, but they're suspicious that it may be because of a story that they ran on the sheriff's department where Deputy Matt Casbaum tased a man to death while he was hogtied.
We asked some questions about that. They refused to give us any records at all initially. We've now gotten everything we've asked for, but we had to file a lawsuit to get it.
But plotting the deaths of news reporters wasn't the only thing that was talked about in this unofficial official meeting. They also talked about how they believed that black folks should be taken down to the nearby river and hung. Local officials, including mayors and the governor of Oklahoma, are calling for the resignation of all the public officials involved, and the FBI is investigating this as a criminal case. Residents of the area have been protesting outside of the commission hall ever since the audio was released, and tonight will be the first official county commission meeting since the audio was released. And to the general public, the comments made in this meeting may come as a surprise. But to those of us who have been pushing for government accountability and especially police accountability over the years, we've already been promised by police union Joe Gamaldi that they are coming for us in this chilling threat 4 years ago.
But now I want to speak on behalf of the 5,200 brave men and women of the Houston Police Department and the other 800,000 police officers that are working these streets every single day, putting their lives on the line. We are sick and tired of having targets on our back. We are sick and tired of having dirtbags trying to take our lives when all we're trying to do is protect this community and protect our families. Enough is enough. And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks.
This comment from Joe Gamaldi came 4 years ago in Houston, Texas, after a botched raid on the wrong house. 5 officers ended up being shot in that raid, and Joe Gamaldi was trying to claim that the homeowners had shot the police. It was later determined that the homeowners never fired a single shot, and that the police had murdered both the 2 individuals in the home and shot each other. All 5 police officers were shot by other police officers, but he blamed the shooting of his 5 officers on news reporters and activists that exposed bad cops, claiming that exposing the truth about police conduct puts a target on their back. It's my opinion that the plot to murder news reporters in Oklahoma very well could have been inspired by the threats made by Police Union Vice President Joe Gamaldi 4 years ago.
And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks.
Yeah, we had enough, damn it. We're not going to take no more. How dare they? Damn people anyway, what are they good for? All right, you guys. Things are kind of slow today. I think we're going to go ahead and quit this stream, get on with the day. Got lots of stuff to do. Garbage, dishes, cleaning the house, you know, all that good stuff. So anyway, you guys have a great day, better tomorrow, and we'll be here same time, same bat channel in the morning, 5 a.m. Hope to see you there. Take care. Bye.